Very good morning, students. Today, let us discuss Gauss law in magnetism. Gauss law in magnetism. Already we discussed Gauss law in electrostatics. According to Gauss law, integral E bar dot ds bar is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed within the surface. The total normal electric flux coming out of a closed Gaussian surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed within the surface. So this is the definition of Gauss law in electrostatics. Now let us understand Gauss law in magnetism. Whenever I take a region having some magnetic lines of force or magnetic field, in this region, if I consider any closed surface, the net flux passing through the closed surface is 0. Net flux passing through the closed surface is always 0. This law is called Gauss law in magnetism. Here what you should understand is the number of lines of force that are entering into the surface are exactly equal to the number of lines of force that are leaving out of the surface. Number of lines of force entering is equal to number of lines of force leaving. Net flux, if I take the flux entering into this surface is minus, flux leaving out of the surface is plus, the net flux means minus 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. So net magnetic flux passing through the surface means you should calculate integral B bar dot ds bar. If I consider a small area, on this small area, this is the direction of B bar, this is the direction of ds bar. The angle between B bar and ds bar is theta. Now, you can is equal to flux entering minus flux leaving, or minus of flux entering plus flux leaving equal to 0, because number of lines of force entering is equal to number of lines of force leaving. Or simply in sigma notation also you can write B bar delta S through entire surface, through the closed surface is equal to 0. So what is the difference between Gauss law in electrostatics and Gauss law in magnetism? In electrostatics, if you keep a charge here, either plus q or minus q, if you consider a Gaussian surface, only flux is leaving out of the surface, since they are open curves. But magnetic lines of force are closed loops, as we discussed earlier. So the flux that is entering into the surface must be equal to the flux that is leaving out of the surface. Hence net flux passing through the surface is always equal to 0. So this is the Gauss law in magnetism. Sometimes for solving some problems we require the concept, hence we learnt here. Now let us move to the next concept. Earth's magnetism, or terrestrial magnetism. Earth's magnetism over our terrestrial magnetism. Suppose if I consider our Earth. Our Earth is having geographic North Pole, geographic South Pole. The axis joining these two poles is called geographic axis. If I consider a big circle on the surface of Earth, for which this geographic axis is normal and which is dividing this Earth into two equal halves, such a circle is called geographic equator. Geographic equator. Our Earth possesses certain magnetic behavior. What is the reason for the magnetism of Earth? Till now, nobody has given a clear idea. But various studies and various observations, they are suggesting some ideas. Let us see what are the old ideas related to the magnetism of Earth. In the olden days, they are thinking that Earth is having a very big magnet buried inside this. A very big magnet is available inside the Earth crust. Because of this reason, Earth is getting magnetism. So this was the earlier idea to explain the magnetic behavior of our Earth. But it is not correct. Why it is not correct? If you go to the inner core of Earth, the temperature is very, very high. Hence, all the rocky material is in the molten state. In that molten state, existence of such a magnet is not possible. Existence of such a magnet is not possible. Hence, this theory is ruled out. So, it is not the exact reason for the generation of magnetic field to the Earth. Later, in the modern era, the modern scientific research suggested two more theories. As per the modern theory, Earth is surrounded by some ionized zone. Earth is surrounded by ionosphere. In ionosphere, all the atoms and molecules are in ionized state. Ionized state. Due to the rotation of Earth, Earth is rotating around its own axis continuously. This is the ionized region surrounding Earth. This ionized region is developed due to the cosmic radiations. Because of cosmic radiation, all the atoms and molecules are getting ionized and they are forming a region called ionized region. Due to the rotation of Earth, these ions or charged particles available in the ionized region will also rotate around Earth. While charged particle is rotating around Earth, it is generating some current. The generated current develops certain magnetic field at the center of the circle. So, Earth is getting magnetism because of the motion of the ionized matter which is available in the surrounding region of Earth, which is developed due to the interaction of cosmic radiation with atmospheric atoms and molecules. So, this is the reason for magnetism of Earth as per the modern theory. If Earth stops its rotation, then there is no possibility for this ionized matter to rotate. So no current, no magnetic field. So Earth loses its magnetic behavior once it stops its motion. So this is the modern theory which is telling us the reason for Earth's magnetism. But no clear-cut practical proofs were developed so far. And one more theory is there. This is also a modern theory to explain the reason for magnetism or magnetic behavior of Earth or terrestrial magnetism. As per this theory, Earth consists of inner core. Earth consists of crust, mantle and core. In this core, the temperature is very, very high. There exist molten iron and nickel within the center of Earth. So in this molten core, you will have molten iron and nickel. Molten iron and nickel. As Earth is rotating, that inner core which is in the molten state consisting of iron and nickel is also getting rotated. So it gives a dynamo-like effect and causes magnetism to the Earth. It gives dynamo-like behavior and causes magnetism to the Earth. So these are the three theories describing the reason for magnetism. What is the first theory? People thought that a big magnet is buried inside the Earth crust, but which is not true, since Earth inner core is having very, very high temperatures. At that very high temperature, no magnet or no solid matter is available. So existence of magnet inside the Earth crust is impossible. Later, the second theory is due to the rotation of Earth, the surrounding ionized region of Earth atmosphere is also rotating around Earth. So that ionized matter under rotation produces some current and magnetic field, which is the reason for magnetism. The third theory is in the molten inner core of Earth, we have nickel and iron substances. Those nickel and iron substances, their rotation, due to the rotation of Earth, leads to the development of some dynamo-like effect, and which produces magnetism to the Earth. So these are the various theories which are supporting the magnetism to the Earth. But in all the theories, if Earth stops its rotation, the magnetism of Earth gets lost. So to understand the magnetic property of Earth at a given place, we require certain parameters. Let us understand what are the elements of terrestrial magnetism. Elements of terrestrial magnetism. These elements are essential to understand the magnetic behavior of Earth, because whatever device we use on Earth's surface is working with the principle of electricity and magnetism. The magnetic behavior of the particular object may be altered by the Earth magnetic field. The influence of Earth magnetic field on every device cannot be neglected. So we should consider the magnetic behavior of Earth at a given place. To understand the magnetic behavior of Earth at a given place, we need certain elements. Those elements are called elements of terrestrial magnetism. Elements of terrestrial magnetism. Elements of terrestrial magnetism. Before to understand these elements, let us understand the magnetic behavior of Earth. Earth magnet, if you consider Earth as a magnet, it should have North Pole and South Pole. So, Earth magnetic North Pole is nearer to the South Pole of Earth, geographic South Pole of Earth. Earth magnetic south pole is nearer to the geographic north pole. So if you join these two, this axis is called geomagnetic axis. Geomagnetic axis. Earth magnet's north pole is nearer to the geographic south pole. Earth magnet's south pole is nearer to the geographic north pole. Sir, how do you know about these north pole and south pole? We already discussed. Every magnet has certain properties like attractive property, directionality property, induction property, etc., etc. In that directionality property, if you take any freely suspended magnet, orient itself in geographic north pole and south pole directions. That means, if you suspend a magnet here, this magnet is having north pole and south pole. The north pole of the suspended magnet is attracted by the south pole of Earth magnet, and the south pole of the suspended magnet is attracted by the magnetic north pole of Earth. Hence, this south pole is tilted towards Earth magnet's north pole, nothing but geographic south pole. So, south pole of our magnet is facing geographic south of Earth, and north pole of the bar magnet is facing geographic north pole of Earth. That is the reason behind it. Always the lines of force will go from north pole to south pole. So, lines of force will move from geomagnetic north to geomagnetic south, like this. In this way, the lines of force are going north to south. And if you consider a circle on the surface of Earth, which is perpendicular to geomagnetic axis, like this. This is called geomagnetic equator. We have two equators and two axes. One is geographic axis, another one is geomagnetic axis. Similarly, we have geomagnetic equator as well as geographic equator. So, two types of equators are there, two types of axes are there. Lines of induction are moving from south pole of, that means geographic south pole, to geographic north pole. That means geomagnetic north pole to geomagnetic south pole. So, this is about the basic idea of magnetism of Earth. Here, there are certain elements to understand magnetism at a given place. One is magnetic declination. Magnetic declination. Second one is magnetic inclination. It is also called dip. The third one is horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. So, first one is magnetic declination, generally represented with theta. The second one is magnetic inclination or dip, represented with delta. Horizontal component of Earth magnetic field represented with BH. Horizontal component of Earth magnetic field is represented with BH. By knowing the three parameters at a particular place on the surface of Earth, we will understand the magnetic behavior of Earth at that given place, Now, individually, we would like to learn about these three parameters. What is magnetic declination? What is magnetic dip or inclination? The third one is horizontal component of earth magnetic field. To understand this, we need a term called magnetic meridian. Magnetic meridian. Meridian is a vertical plane passing through particular axis. If you consider geographic axis, any vertical plane passing through geographic axis is called geographic meridian. Any vertical plane passing through geomagnetic axis is called magnetic meridian. Meridian means a vertical plane which is passing through a given axis. Meridian means a vertical plane passing through a particular axis. Now let us understand what is magnetic declination. Now only you said there are two axes for Earth, geographic axis as well as magnetic axis. The angle between these two axes is theta, nothing but magnetic declination. Magnetic declination is defined as the angle between geographic axis as well as geomagnetic axis. Geographic axis as well as geomagnetic axis. In order to understand it in a simple way, let me draw one diagram. This is a vertical plane. This is another vertical plane. This is, suppose, geographic North Pole. This is geographic South Pole. So this axis is called geographic axis, and this vertical plane is called geographic meridian. Nearer to the geographic North Pole, geomagnetic South Pole is there. So geomagnetic North Pole is there. This axis is called geomagnetic axis. The vertical plane passing through the geomagnetic axis is called geomagnetic meridian. Geomagnetic meridian. So the angle between these two, that means geographic axis and geomagnetic axis, nothing but geographic meridian and geomagnetic meridian. This angle is called declination. This angle is called declination. This is the first element of terrestrial magnetism. Now, let us understand the second element of terrestrial magnetism. At a particular place, if you take net magnetic induction vector due to earth magnetic field, suppose at a particular place I need, what is the direction of magnetic field? Lines of force are going like this, you should draw a tangent. The tangent will give the net magnetic induction at that place. So this magnetic induction vector will lie in geomagnetic meridian. This is the net magnetic field vector. This net magnetic field vector can have two components, one component like this, another component like this. This is called horizontal component BH, this is called vertical component BV. The angle made by the net magnetic field vector with the geomagnetic axis, this angle is called dip or inclination. This is called dip or inclination. Now clearly B net is suppose B, Then horizontal component of earth magnetic field BH is given by B cos delta. B cos delta. BV is given by B sin delta. If I take the ratio of these two, BV by BH is equal to B sin delta by B cos delta. BB gets cancelled. So tan delta is equal to BV by BH. Delta is equal to tan inverse BV by BH. Delta is equal to tan inverse BV by BH. So this formula will help us to find the dip at a given place. And also we know that if you square and add these two equations, equation number 1, equation number 2, 1 square plus 2 square, nothing but BH square plus BV square is equal to B square cos square delta plus B square sin square delta, nothing but B square. Cos square delta plus sin square delta is 1. Then net magnetic field at a given place is given by root over BH square plus BV square. These relationships are helpful to us for finding dip and net magnetic field strength at a given place. At a given place. The third element of terrestrial magnetism is horizontal component of earth magnetic field. Already we discussed horizontal component BH is equal to B cos delta. Every object which is kept or every instrument which is kept on the surface of earth is generally parallel to the horizontal, nothing but parallel to the surface of earth. So it is influenced by only one component of magnetic field majorly, that is horizontal component of earth magnetic field. So among the two components, horizontal component is having its own importance to influence any object on the surface of earth. So to understand the behavior of earth magnetic field at a given place, we need to have the elements of terrestrial magnetism. What are the elements of terrestrial magnetism? Declination, inclination, and horizontal component of earth magnetic field. Magnetic declination is the angle between geomagnetic axis and geographic axis, or geomagnetic meridian and geographic meridian. And the resultant magnetic field vector makes a certain angle with the geomagnetic meridian, makes some angle with the geomagnetic meridian. The angle made by the resultant magnetic field with the horizontal component of earth magnetic field, or you can say geomagnetic axis, is called inclination. And net magnetic field can have two components. One component is horizontal to the surface of earth, called horizontal component. Other component is perpendicular to the surface of earth, called vertical component. This horizontal component and vertical component can be calculated by using this formula. Suppose if you consider a book, if you open the book like this is one meridian. Okay, if suppose geographic north is here, geographic south is here, then this meridian is geographic meridian. Nearer to the geographic north, geomagnetic south is there. So geomagnetic north is here. This is called geomagnetic meridian. This is called geographic meridian. The angle between these two meridians is called declination. Resultant magnetic field is in this geomagnetic meridian. It is in this direction. It is making some angle with the geomagnetic axis called inclination, and the horizontal component is given by B cos delta. Only why we are interested in horizontal component means it will influence the behavior of objects on the surface of Earth. It will influence the behavior of objects on the surface of Earth. So now, learning about this magnetic field is very, very essential. Every object, every device which is installed on the surface of Earth is influenced by Earth magnetic field. So we should know about Earth magnetic field at a given place. To understand the Earth magnetic field at a given place, we require horizontal component of Earth magnetic field, declination and dip values at a given place. I hope you understood the concept. Once you go through the textbook to understand these ideas very clearly. Now let us discuss about magnetic maps. Now let us discuss about magnetic maps. Generally, to understand the magnetic field at a given place on Earth's surface, we need to consider the elements of terrestrial magnetism that are inclination, declination and dip. Already we discussed just now. Magnetic maps are some maps which are drawn to understand the magnetic behavior of Earth at a given place. These magnetic maps consists of different kinds of lines. We name those lines in this order like this. The first set of lines are called isogonic lines. Isogonic lines. The second set of lines are called agonic lines. The third set are called isoclinic lines. The fourth set are called eclinic lines. Fifth set are called iodynamic lines. Generally, the geologists, geometeorologists, they require the knowledge of these magnetic maps. A brief idea I am giving you about these magnetic maps. What are isogonic lines? The lines joining the equal angle of declination are called isogonic lines. Similarly, agonic lines means the lines joining zero angle of declination. The lines joining zero angle of declination are called agonic lines. Isoclinic lines. Isoclinic lines are the lines joining equal angle of dip. The lines joining the equal angles of dip. If different places are having identical dip values, those are joined by a line called isoclinic line. Eclinic lines, the lines joining zero angle of dip. The lines joining zero angle of dip. The lines joining zero angle of dip. The last one is isodynamic lines. The lines joining equal horizontal component of Earth magnetic field. The lines joining the equal horizontal components of Earth's magnetic field. So if you observe clearly, isogonic lines are the lines which are joining the places with equal angle of declination, theta. The lines joining zero angle of declination, theta is equal to 0, such places are joined with the help of a line called agonic line. Isoclinic line means equal angles of dip. Angle of dip is delta. If the same angle delta containing areas are joined by a line called isoclinic lines. Zero angle of dip containing areas are joined by a line called eclinic lines. Isodynamic lines are the lines which are joining the places with same BH value. BH value means horizontal component of Earth magnetic field. Sometimes they will ask a bit based on these lines. Only for general knowledge, I gave this idea. Now, let us understand concept of null points. Null points. This concept is also called superposition of magnetic fields. Superposition of magnetic fields. We know that these are the geographic east, west, north, south directions. If I keep a bar magnet, generally short bar magnet having north pole and south pole, such that the north pole is directed towards geographic north. North pole of the given magnet is directed towards geographic north pole. And if you draw the lines of force of this particular bar magnet, they will follow a trend. How to draw lines of force? You take small compass needle, keep that needle here. The needle is directed in particular direction. You put a dot here. Again, you keep this compass box here. Again, the needle will show some direction. At that direction, you keep a dot. Like that, if you join these points, you will get a line of force like this. So, likewise, you can draw so many lines of force. Likewise, you can draw so many lines of force. No two lines of force intersect each other. All are coming out of the surface in a normal direction. And if you draw some more lines of force, you can find some of the lines of force are going like this. They are leaving out of the north pole. Some lines of force are entering into the south pole. And here, some more lines of force are available like this. Practically, in our lab also, we can draw these lines. Always you know that lines of force are diverging out of north pole and converging into south pole. So they are moving from north pole to south pole like this. They are moving into south pole like this. like this. Here, if you observe these two lines of force, they are in south to north direction. They are in south to north direction because of the earth magnetic field. Earth magnetic lines of force are going from south pole to north pole, geographic south pole to geographic north pole. Since geomagnetic north pole is nearer to geographic south pole, geomagnetic south pole is nearer to north pole. And you will observe a region here where net magnetic induction is 0. You will observe one more region here where the net magnetic induction is 0. Those points are called null points. Null point is a region where the net magnetic field is 0. Null point is a region where the net magnetic field is 0. So let me designate this null point as N1, this null point as N2. Here actually superimposition of two magnetic fields is happening. One is magnetic field due to this short bar magnet, another one is magnetic field due to earth magnet. If I take null point 1, N1, here magnetic field due to this short bar magnet is downwards because it is B is always tangential to the line of force. So B due to the short bar magnet is like this. You know that earth magnetic field is having horizontal component that only will influence the object which is kept parallel to the surface of earth. So only we are interested in horizontal component of earth magnetic field. That horizontal component of earth magnetic field will be tangential to the line of force due to earth magnetic field. It is in upward direction. If the magnitude of B due to the short bar magnet is equal to the magnitude of BH due to the earth magnet, if both magnetic fields gets the same value, the net magnetic induction at that particular place becomes 0 and that particular point is called null point. And that particular point is called null point. So in order to locate the null point, we will take some equatorial line here. On this equatorial line, if I move the magnetic needle generally it is directed in some direction. It doesn't find any direction at this location. It will be rotating like this. And if you come this side, it will be directed in one direction. If you move it this side, you will find it in another direction. There is a particular point where net magnetic field is 0, so it is unable to find a particular direction to stay back. So it will be rotating like it without any specific direction. Such a point is called null point. At null point, B becomes equal to BH. Yesterday we calculated magnetic induction on the equatorial line of a short bar magnet. On the equatorial line of a short bar magnet. On equatorial line, the magnetic induction is given by B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into M by on B on equatorial line. Mu naught by 4 pi into M by d square plus L square whole power 3 by 2. L is the length of the magnet. Actual total length is 2L we are taking. D is the distance of the point. So the distance of null point is D here. The distance of null point is D here. So to identify the distance, we use the formula mu naught by 4 pi into M by d square plus L square whole power 3 by 2 is equal to BH. In case of short bar magnet, you can neglect L value. L square is very small when compared to d square. Mu naught by 4 pi into M by d cube is equal to BH. then d cube is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into m by bh. If you want to remove this 3, you should keep 1 by 3 here. By using this formula, you can identify the distance of null point due to a short bar magnet. When north pole of the given short bar magnet is directed towards geographic north, the pattern of lines of force will be like this, and null points are located on the equatorial line. Each null point is located at a distance from the center of the magnet like this. Sometimes in certain problems, they will ask you to find the distance between the two null points. Distance between the two null points is 2d. Distance between n1 and n2. That means you should calculate 2d. Already d value is there. You multiply with 2, you will get the distance between the two null points. Null points are located on the equatorial line. So this is about the direction of bar magnet is in geographic north direction. If I keep south of our magnet, south pole of the short bar magnet is directed towards geographic north, what could be the nature of the lines of force and where we can find the lines, null points? Now let us do. Magnet kept such that south pole of it is directed towards geographic north pole. Magnet kept such that south pole of it is directed towards geographic north pole. Again, north, south, east, west. This is the short bar magnet I have taken. Here south pole is directed towards north, here north pole is available. So lines of force should move from north to south. So they will be going like this. And if you observe clearly, here this is magnetic axis. These lines of force are directed from north to south. These are directed from south to north. All are in one direction. Now you can identify the location of null point here. How can we identify? As the lines of force are going like this, magnetic field due to short bar magnet could be like this. Geographic horizontal component is like this. Sorry, geomagnetic horizontal component of magnetic field. There is a possibility for getting zero field containing point. Net field is zero. Such point is called null point. So null point is located N1, N2 on the axial line of the bar magnet. Same explanation like earlier. Here at null point, net magnetic field should become 0. At null point, net magnetic field should become 0. That means magnetic induction due to the short bar magnet is equal to horizontal component of earth magnet. And you know that B value is given by mu naught by 4 pi on axial line 2m by d square minus L square whole power 3 by 2. That should be equal to BH. In case of short bar magnet, in case of short bar magnet, its value becomes mu naught by 4 pi into 2m by d cube, that is equated with BH. Then the distance of the null point from the center of the magnet d cube is given by mu naught by 4 pi into 2m by BH. If you want to remove cube here, you should keep 1 by 3 here. So the distance d from center to the null point is like this. Distance between null points. N1, N2 is equal to 2d. By knowing d value, you can get the distance between the two null points. The important point you should remember here is null points are located on axial line. Earlier, null points are located on equatorial line. Now, the null points are located on axial line. So, this is the trend of magnetic lines of force. If you keep the south pole of the bar magnet directed towards geographic north, directed towards geographic north. One more case we will discuss here. Magnet is placed perpendicular to magnetic meridian. Magnet is placed perpendicular to magnetic meridian. You know that this is north pole, east, west and south. These are the geographic directions. Magnetic meridian means a vertical plane passing through geomagnetic north pole and geomagnetic south pole. So it is somewhere, these are geographic north, geographic south. So geomagnetic south, geomagnetic north. So this is geomagnetic meridian. Our magnet is kept perpendicular to geomagnetic meridian. Suppose this is geomagnetic meridian, SM, NM. Magnet is placed perpendicular to that, such that here is north pole, here is south pole. What is the nature of magnetic lines of force and where is the location of null points? We need to identify. Always you know that lines of force will come out of north pole and enter into south pole. So the lines of force will find some way like this. They are coming from north, entering into south, like this. Here they are going like this, entering like this. And you will find the null points on this line. Here is null point 1, here is null point 2. And remaining lines of force, always they move into north pole, sorry, they move out of the north pole. here also so null points are located exactly in the midway between the axial line and equatorial line. In the midway between a axial line and equatorial line. Formula is not necessary. So where they are located means they are located at an angle 45 degrees from this equatorial line, or you can say from axial line. So this is the nature of null points in case of a bar magnet kept perpendicular to the magnetic meridian. Bar magnet kept perpendicular to the magnetic meridian. I hope everybody followed. Now let us solve one problem. The question says the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic induction at a place is 0.32 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla. The angle of dip at that place is 60 degrees. The angle of dip at that place is 60 degrees. Then find value of vertical component. Very simple problem it is. We know that net earth magnetic field consists of two components. One is horizontal component BH, that is B cos delta. Vertical component is BV, B sin delta. Delta is called angle of dip, that they gave it as 60 degrees. You are given horizontal component of earth magnetic field, that means BH value they gave, that is B cos delta value they gave it as 0.32 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla. 0.32 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla is B cos delta. Delta value is 60, that is B cos 60 is equal to 0.32 into 10 power minus 4. So B into cos 60 is 1 by 2 is equal to 0.32 into 10 power minus 4. Then B is equal to 0.64 into 10 power minus 4. Now we need vertical component BV, that is 0.64 into 10 power minus 4 sin 60. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. This is 0.32. So 0.32 into 1.732 into 10 power minus 4. 0.32 into 10 power minus 4 into 1.732. If you multiply 0.55 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla. This is the simple solution for the given question. This is the simple solution for the given question. One more question, let us solve. The question says, a compass needle of magnetic moment a compass needle of magnetic moment 60 ampere meter square pointing towards geographical north at certain place where horizontal component of earth magnetic field is given by 40 microweber per meter square. Experiences a torque (1.2 into 10 power minus 3 Newton meter). Find the declination at that place. Find the declination at that place. This is the question. Solution. Theta is angle of declination. Theta is angle of declination. Compass needle of magnetic moment, capital M they give, 60 ampere meter square, is kept in geographic north direction. This is geographic north, geographic south. Our compass needle is just tilted towards, this is the north and south of your needle. This is geomagnetic south. So geomagnetic north are like this. This angle is theta. Angle between geomagnetic axis and geographic axis is theta. Our magnetic moment m bar is like this. Horizontal component of earth magnetic field BH is like this. So one magnet is kept in an external magnetic field, it experiences some torque given by m bar cross BH bar, because here horizontal component of earth magnetic field is the external magnetic field. So that is tau is equal to MBH sine of the angle between them, nothing but angle of declination. So M value they gave, BH value also they gave. BH value they gave it as 40 into 10 power minus 6. Micro means 10 power minus 6. Weber per meter square is Tesla. Now, tau is equal to MB 40 into 10 power minus 6 M value. B value, so it is B value, M value 60 sine theta, that is equal to 1.2 into 10 power minus 3. Now sine theta is equal to, so 1.2 into 10 power minus 3 by 24 into 10 power minus 4. This will go for 20 times. So 1 by 2 means 0.5 into, this is 10 power minus 3. So it becomes 10 power plus 3, 10 power 0. That is nothing but 1 by 2. theta is equal to 30 degrees. That is the answer. Theta is equal to 30 degrees is the answer for the question. I hope you understood the solution for this question. Likewise, in our integrated material, so many problems are given based on the declination, dip and horizontal component of earth magnetic field. So first you read the elements of terrestrial magnetism and later on you try to solve all these questions. Thank you.